Basically, our video is about second law of thermodynamics, heat engine, and specifically we talk about steam power plant. What is heat engine? Heat engine is a device that converts heat energy into work. We can also say that heat engine is a device that converts heat energy into mechanical work.
The rotating fluid will absorb the heat from the source, and some of the energy will be converted to mechanical energy and being transferred as work, and the rest will be rejected to the sink. You can refer the formula of efficiency at my right side. So we can conclude that efficiency is the ratio of external work done to the amount of energy absorbed from the source. There are two types of heat engine. First is internal combustion engine. Second is external combustion engine. Petrol or auto engine and diesel engine is an example for internal combustion engine, whereby external combustion engine is steam engine.
Now, I will explain on how steam power plant works. Thermal generating stations use the power of steam to propel generators that produce electricity. This is a steam power plant. The coal supply enters the large industrial furnace for burning purposes. Meanwhile, the water from the river is transferred through large pipes entering the generation station. This is where the boiler takes place. The water from the river will then pass through the tubes to be transformed into steam. The steam is transferred under pressure at high speed through large pipes to a turbine. It is this pressure and flow that pushes the blades of the turbine, causing it to spin. The turbine is connected to a generator that contains the rotor. As the generator rotor spins, a flow of electrons is created in the stator. It produces electricity that can be stepped up in voltage through the station transformers and sent from the station across transmission lines. As you can see, the steam from the turbine is condensed back to water using cooling water from the lake and pumped back to the boiler where it's reheated to continue the process.
Ladies and gentlemen, let's discuss about the contribution of heat engine to humanity. The heat engine was a hero and the engine that drove the industrial revolution. But before the steam power plant, which is the heat engine, people rely on mostly the power of people and the power of animals. Example, if you want to move something or pull something or run a machine, you do it by hand or perhaps by hooking an ox or a hose to it. Steam power plant were far more powerful than any hose. They run day and night without being fit and have a tendency to make life a little bit easier. Besides that, one of the major impact of heat engine was to generate electricity. Steam power plant provide the first practical means of generating power from heat to increase the all source of power from muscle, wind and water. One of the first challenges to the new profession of chemical engineer was to increase thermal efficiencies of power. This was done principally by the development of the steam turbine and associated large steam boiler. The 20th century has observed a continued rapid growth in the power output of turbines for driving electric generators, together with a steady increase in thermal efficiency.
For my part, I will focus on the contribution of steam power plant to the society. This is the first world underground thermal power plant to be built in Korea. In Korea, a large underground thermal power plant will be built for the first time in the world. Hydroelectric power plants or small thermal power plants have been built below ground, but this will be the first time that a large thermoelectric power plant is built underground. When the underground thermal power plant is completed, the new plant will have 2 power generators capable of producing 400 megawatts each and be able to provide heat for 100,000 households. According to the official, building the power plant underground will not take much longer or cost much more than doing it above ground. Meanwhile, in our beloved country, the construction of the Manjung power plant was decided to help our country to keep pace with its rapidly rising electricity demand. The country was experiencing high load demand which required the addition of large amounts of base load electricity generating capacity, whereas the power generation had always relied on gas in the past. The customer wanted to diversify the fuel by choosing a coal-fired power plant. The location of the plant is in line with the government's desire to develop power in the coastal area and close to load centers.
Good day everyone. I will focus on the contribution of steam power plant to the chemical engineering related to environment. As you all know, operating power plant that burn coal emit air pollutants such as carbon monoxide, nitrogen oxide, and lead into the atmosphere. In an effort to minimize air pollution, it becomes one of the job scope of chemical engineers whom specialize in environment to apply the heat engine concept to design a pollution control equipment at the exhaust tank. In addition, human activities has greatly increased the concentration of pollutants released to the air and water. For example, steam power plants are the biggest mercury emitters. Once the mercury deposited in waterways, bacteria can convert mercury into methylmercury that can be easily absorbed by fish and other organisms. So, the chemical engineers who specialize in wastewater treatment can play their role by improving the mercury emission control using certain combination of control technologies. For example, some power plants use steam power plant Rankine cycle in one-through cooling. In one-through cooling, the cooling water is drawn from the lake or river and used to condense the steam to recycle through the plant.